Welcome back to Hannity. According to a brand new report from Politico, after getting creamed by President-elect Donald Trump and the Republicans, Democrats are now plotting their comeback, but instead of focusing on pushing the narrative of hope and change, the Democratic Party plans to trash President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees in an attempt to expose them as billionaires and hardliners who are, quote, directly at odds with the working-class Americans he vowed to help. So, will Democrats really be able to mount a comeback using that same old, tired strategy of identity politics? Joining me now for reaction is Avenue Strategies partner, Lewandowski. Corey, so Politico is reporting that the Dems plan to mount a big battle at the nomination hearings. What say you?
You know what I think, Eric? I think once again this is the Democratic Party who has lost touch with the American electorate. You know, what we saw was Donald Trump's decisive victory because he went out and he won in states that his message resonated in, which is let's get our jobs back, let's renegotiate our trade deals, let's not say that TPP is the gold standard and then change when I have political pressure on me. And so, look, this is the Democrats' playbook. It's right out of the old playbook. It's what caused them to lose this election in the worst electoral defeat since Ronald Reagan was reelected in 1984. The problem is they're out of touch with what reality is, and until just recently, the economic job growth in this country has been stagnant compared to other countries. Our taxes are too high, and the American people want something different. The only way the Democrats can be successful right now is attacking Donald Trump's nominees to fill out the cabinet, because he knows and they know that those people are going to go and do exactly what Donald Trump said, which is streamline the government and make it more responsive to the people.
But they can't. You know, they can't. They can whine and cry and, you know, blame and point fingers. But at the end of the day, they got 48 senators. They don't have the votes.
Well, they don't have the votes, but look, this is how the system works. They want to go and make a bunch of noise. The bottom line is they lost, and elections have consequences. And it wasn't, you know, more than 2 months ago where most of the mainstream media was saying how this was going to be such a landslide on behalf of Hillary Clinton, and, you know, the Democrats are changing the rules. And don't forget, when the Democrats had the majority in the U.S. Senate, they're the ones who got rid of, you know, they're the ones who implemented the so-called nuclear option, which no longer required 60 votes to change the procedures. Now it's a simple majority. Now they have to live by that. This is Harry Reid's own doing, and they have to live by it for the good of the American people.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about some news that came out today. Donald Trump met with the CEO of Boeing. Remember, he pushed back a little bit, or he rather aggressively pushed back, saying, do we really need to spend $4 billion on 2 airplanes, a new Air Force One and a new Air Force Two? The CEO exited the meeting and said, you know, we're going to come in under budget. He's not even president yet. He's saving us money.
Well, this is amazing, right? This is Donald Trump in the mold of Teddy Roosevelt using the bully pulpit to say, look, you know what? I'm going to look at every single thing that the federal government spends money on. And I understand it was $4.2 billion out of a $4 trillion budget. That's 1/100th of 1%. He's looking at this and saying, we can do better. The American people deserve better. And now what we see is a CEO coming in and saying, you know what, Mr. President-elect, you're absolutely right. We're going to cut the costs. We're going to save taxpayer money, and we're still going to be able to deliver this on time. That's what we want from our president. That's what we expected when the American people elected Donald Trump. That's what he's going to deliver on.
Now, what's the message to the other contractors that sell goods and services to the United States government? Should they all be on call as well?
Look, Donald Trump is a business executive and has built a very, very successful business over a 40-year career, and it has amassed $10 billion worth of assets. And what he's going to do is take that mindset and now be the CEO of the American public, be the CEO of the United States of America, and making sure that the taxpayers' dollars are used to the very best of their ability. And what you will see, I think, from Donald Trump and his administration is looking at every budget, at every number, at every program and saying, is this the best we can do? Can we take this money and can we return it to the middle class? Can we provide tax cuts? That's what the American people sent him there to do. That's what he's going to do as the next CEO of our country.
Yeah, and so talk to us a little bit about that. We've seen quite a hefty stock market rally since the election. What is that? I mean, can you attribute it to the Trump bump? Is that true, or was that just people finally happy that there's no longer a Democrat in office?
No, I think this is directly related to Donald Trump's election as President of the United States. And if you remember, before he actually made his acceptance speech saying that he was going to be the president-elect, the stock market had fallen. He came out, made a fantastic speech. The stock market has rallied and been rallying for the last 6 weeks. Look, the American people have confidence again. What he's saying is, I'm going to make sure that we're keeping our jobs here. I'm going to put Americans first. And I know that's a novel idea for some people, but that's what he's run on. And if you look at what he did with Carrier, where he saved 1,100 jobs, or the deal he cut with a foreign entity where they're going to invest $50 billion and 50,000 new jobs, he's done all of this before he's even taken the oath of office.
He seems to be proud of these things, and he should be. Honestly, I'm proud of him. He's saving me money. I'm a taxpayer. Corey, what does the future for Corey Lewandowski look like? What's going on with you next?
You know, what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of those individuals who supported Donald Trump that were outside of the main political system, whether it was the Republican or the Democratic Party, they continue to have a voice. So, you know, we're going to start a firm that's going to make sure that we can support Donald Trump's agenda of getting tax cuts done, getting better trade deals done, making sure that his nominees for respective positions in the cabinet are moved through the U.S. Senate, and making sure that in 2018, when you've got a number of Democrat senators up for re-election in very competitive states that Donald Trump won, we have the right candidates that are trained and the grassroots supporting them to push Donald Trump forward.
What will the company physically be doing? Is it lobbying? Is it a PR firm? What is it?
Well, I think, you know, it's not a lot. Look, I'm not going to be a registered lobbyist. What I am going to do is I'm going to be a consultant to some of the campaigns, some of the candidates who want to run in competitive primaries, whether it's for the U.S. Senate or for the U.S. House of Representatives, and I want to make sure that we're supporting those candidates that support Donald Trump's agenda. Right. Moreover, look, there are corporations out there that are getting killed by the federal government because they can't get an answer. And if we have the ability to help them get a fast no rather than a long maybe, then I think that's a value add that they'd appreciate.
One quick thought before I'm running out of time, though. So you were there from the very beginning. You saw this thing build and grow and turn into a presidency. What is it like? And you're not involved in it right now, but just from the outside looking in, what are your feelings, what are your emotions about it?
Look, it's obviously very humbling to have had a front row seat at history, but you know, it's so much bigger than any one person. Donald Trump has always said he is the person who's leading this movement, but it's the American people that have stood up, and you know, they've been so disappointed for the last 30 years that Republicans and Democrats in Washington have lied to them, and they finally have a person who's going to go there and stand up for their own interests that isn't bought and paid for by special interests, and I think that's what the American people are looking forward to.
I'll leave it right there. Corey Lewandowski, thank you very much.